We got a new intro song. What's up, everybody? Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, so he said he wants to drive home and then he'll come in towards the end because he's in San Francisco right now and he wants to go home. And I think he lives in like Pittsburgh or something.
No, whoa. Oh, yeah. That's a drive, but no problem.
That's a drive and a half.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
dead.
like-
I'm dead. I'm dead.
That's a drive.
I'm playing my intro music on my stream. My stream is live and on right now.
Anything's coming after, guys. Go back to the.
Let me,
Okay, go back to
I'm gonna post it and then you guys can share if you guys want.
I will leave it at that.
To have him join, do I just send him the link or do I have to like
Hello.
add his username? I'm still getting the hang of Discord. So
Yeah, no problem. Here, let me lower the music on this. You would, invite him essentially onto the Discord, and then we would have to have him transferred to our transparency chat. So you can add him now, and then we could just add him onto the chat later. Hello, stream. Hello. You guys are on time too. Weirdos. I'm just kidding. I appreciate you guys. Jeremiah.
Same university.
Bump, 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 bump. I like this new intro song I got.
Alright, before this, I gotta pee.
Hello, chat.
Why is it you can only do YouTube or Twitch? That's so dumb. But you can do TikTok on both.
On what?
On Streamlabs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you have to pay for the member. I told you, the membership will allow you to do YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok.
Yeah, but like it's either Twitch or YouTube. But like TikTok, you can have it as the second one, even with Twitch and YouTube.
Oh.
But you can't have like you can have two if it's TikTok, but you can't have two if it's YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Very ethereal. Oh, maybe I should close that screen share. All right, I'm gonna just keep it playing until 7:30. We got 1 minute. Hello. Hi, Lily. Thanks for coming in and supporting Laura May. We're excited for you to join and listen. You can also see this on Twitch. So whichever one works for you, feel free to listen in on that. Feel free to hit that like, subscribe. I appreciate you. We are here. Hi. Whoops. Let me do the podcast one. There you go. Bump. 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 Look at everybody. So not ready. Just chilling, hanging out. Jeremiah with his popsicle. Today it's a popsicle. Last week was a salad. What kind of popsicle? Chad is asking. It's the icy ones. Yum. Bump, bump, bump. This intro background song. Actually, chat, can you guys hear the intro background music? Trying to get a feel of that. Let me know if you hear it. Because... Chat said Laura May looks yummy like the Justin Bieber song. Or Justin Timberlake. Justin Bieber.
Thank you.
She's like, thank you. Chat, can you guys hear that background music? I'm trying to see if it... this kind of gives me like this K-pop vibe. New Jeans kind of thing. Trying to make sure it actually works and people can hear it. I'd be so awkward if I'm just like singing along to the song and no one else can hear it. You can hear it, Fierce? On the stream? Oh.
No, he's vibing to his own music.
He had his own Right.
Brother, you're muted.
Oh, I am weird.
He said, "Oh."
Wait, were you listening to the thing, Fierce, or?
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear it though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. For sure. All right, it is 7:31. The intro song has ended, and our podcast is starting. So, we had a little bit last minute change of plans. We do have a guest arriving, joining us on our podcast tonight, but he is running a little bit late. He had some prior arrangements and had to take care of things, and he's heading home. So we wanted him to be home and be safe first, rather than joining us on time. He might hop on probably the last half hour. We are going to try ending our podcast from now on around 9 p.m. 9 p.m. the latest, hopefully, if we don't go off tangent and get in a groove of things and enjoy the conversations. But yeah, so let me start off with a disclaimer as we usually do. Welcome to Transparency Thursday podcast. It is a podcast where our team gets to just freely express our own thoughts and opinions. We want to be completely blunt, as you can say, with our responses. This is just a way for us to really hear each other's possible what's the word I'm looking for? Different opinions and viewpoints, which will allow us to really engage in the certain topics that we bring up. And every Thursday, we usually come up with something that is more thought-provoking or kind of engaging. Last week, we talked about... What did we talk about, gang?
Eating disorder.
Eating disorder,
I
yes.
forgot.
How could I forget? We were talking about eating disorder. But the weeks prior, we talked about pop trending things like the situation with Sketch. If you do not know who he is a really popular streamer, and really big in the gaming community as well. But we talk about anything and everything essentially. And today, for tonight's topic, we will be talking about body dysmorphia, something that kind of ties in with our previous conversation, which was eating disorder. But more relative to kind of our perspective of what we see in ourselves or of ourselves. And so we want to start it off. Since we did change our plans or schedule for tonight, we will just have the conversation with our team first. And then once our guest arrives, then we're going to roast him really badly for being late. And then, I'm just kidding. And then we will ask him some questions just related to the topic. And we wanted to always ensure that we, at least have one guest, and if not, to have something that we can share based off of our own personal experiences. And this is the reason why we do, seek out for guests. So if you one day chat if you're out there. And I'm very comfortable to maybe potentially join us in a conversation. We would love to have you as a guest, and we can chime in together. Of course, there will be selective screening that we will have to go through first. We can't just approve and agree with everyone joining us. But we do appreciate your guys' feedback and everything that you share with us on chat, because we want this to be an open conversation. That's why we do it live rather than a pre-recorded podcast. But yeah, and last but not least of our intro, I wanted to, of course, officially announce something in our team, which is that Laura May, who had joined us last week regarding our eating disorder topic, she was actually one of our guests last week. But after the podcast, we actually wanted to have a conversation with her regarding the team itself and our vision for the podcast. And we wanted to just say that we are officially welcoming Laura May as part of our team. So we really appreciate you being here. We're really excited. Ooh, do I have a? Where's mine?
Sorry.
Oh, it's here. It's
Milo,
here.
Get down. Get down.
Yeah. It's here. There you go. Woo! Oh wait. Yeah! If you can hear that.
Soundboard.
Woo. Yay! Late soundboard. Woo! Yeah. But yeah, congratulations. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for choosing this night as one of the special nights that you will be spending with the boys. So I want to apologize in advance for all the craziness and chaotic moments that we may have, especially with Fierce. I want to apologize in advance for Fierce. No, he's a wholesome guy. He's actually the most wholesome here out of all of us. But yeah, we really appreciate it. Chat is saying, "Yay, welcome to the team!" Woo. So yeah, let's get started with the topic. Tonight, I know last week was a very serious conversation. We didn't have much of moments where we could laugh because obviously, I mean, why would you laugh about eating disorders? But tonight, our conversation is about body dysmorphia. Yes, it is a very serious topic still. But chat, we just want to let you know, if we do throw in some, a little bit of roasting here and there with each other, it is, we don't mean it in any harm towards the audience or anyone out there. This is more towards each other. And it's just the kind of experience and relationship we have with one another. But we will still be very mindful of the topic. We know that it can be a very sensitive topic for others out there, especially our audience. But we still want to keep this light tonight in a way where we can still have fun with the conversation, maybe laugh here and there, just depending on, the certain space. But yeah, I wanted to give that quick, disclaimer again that everything here is purely based on opinion, just our thoughts, unless we tell you verbatim that it is a source that we have cited somewhere, and we will make sure to provide that source. But yeah, let's start it off. Wes, let's start with you, bro.
Go for it.
I mean, let's have you ask the question.
Oh, okay.
I got nervous there.
All right. Okay. So, hey, you have body dysmorphia? How do you feel about yourself?
Milo.
Dog.
Oh,
Jeremiah, we're gonna start with you, bro. Do you feel like you have body dysmorphia, like at all?
No.
No?
Nah, dude.
Not at all.
he's well.
You don't feel like there's any sort of you in any sort of part of your body that you're like, I don't like that.
No, I'm good. I accepted what I did to myself, so it's okay.
You accepted?
Yeah.
Living his best life, chat is saying, and then someone else said we are all perfect.
Well, okay, so let's dive in. Okay, so
yeah, Jeremiah, you can't try to escape this one. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to you're trying to say
why'd you start growing facial hair?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, you know why? Because my ex didn't let me grow facial hair. That's why. She liked the smooth
Oh.
face, and I really wanted to grow it out. So as soon as things happen, I just started growing it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like you wanted it like originally,
Yeah,
and then like she
yeah.
always made you cut it?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
I wanna ask something in connection to Wes's question. Well, you said that you don't really feel like or look at yourself and have those thoughts of like body dysmorphia. First, let's actually even bring up what body dysmorphia is, because some of our audience may not actually truly understand what it is. So BDD or body dysmorphic disorder, also known as body dysmorphia, is a mental health condition that causes people to have obsessive thoughts about perceived flaws in their appearance. These flaws may be minor or not noticeable to others, but people with BDD may feel so ashamed, embarrassed, and anxious that it can significantly disrupt their daily lives. So, body dysmorphia isn't just a thought that someone may have. Body dysmorphia or BDD, body dysmorphic disorder, is actually a mental health concern. Like I said, it is a very serious thing. But we wanted to take light of it by just asking each other if we've ever had that experience. Maybe, undiagnosed, unprofessional thought or treatment with ourselves that we feel that body dysmorphia is real or existent in our space, right? Fears, you said, no, it doesn't really exist in your life. You don't feel like you have BDD or body dysmorphia, or even a thought of like maybe like a sense of insecurity about like your life or what you perceive yourself as when you look at yourself in the mirror. Why is that? Uh, that's actually kind of cool. It's a good thing that you feel very confident in your life, maybe, but that's something I want to unlock in this topic or tonight in this conversation. Are you actually confident in what you say or in how you see yourself in the mirror? Like,
That's a
do
good
you
question.
actually really feel confident when you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning? You wake up, you're like, man, good morning to myself, handsome looking guy with a nice beard.
Like, because I think there's definitely a difference between confidence and like
Yeah,
acceptance. Because you accept who you are, like you're like it is what it is, or like I'm fat.
yeah,
Like you've made
Yeah,
those
but I
statements
mean,
before.
in order for me to be confident, I gotta accept the fact that I am what I am.
No,
Have
Because
you always been happy with the way?
for me, I have to accept things that I did in the past to be able to move on with life.
yeah.
but
There's
that
there's a sense of like acceptance. Like, yeah, like Lorme, what did you say again, or what did you ask?
I was asking if he's always been happy with the way
Yeah,
that he.
have you always been happy with the way that you look at yourself or perceive yourself? He's like, Mom, I'm talking about my BDD right now.
you're embarrassing me in front of my friends.
What do you mean BDD?
It was
What?
one of the popsicles I ate. She was asking if I opened it.
Oh, it's
Oh, did
She
you eat the
asked me to open it.
popsicle?
Yes, I actually had two of them too.
so. Chat had actually asked something. What chat said, maybe it's too soon, but can you all talk about how BDDs can impact your relationship? Let's tie it back into our question with fears. Fears. Like Laura May said, have you always felt confident when, your whole life when you look at yourself in the mirror growing up or even now? Was there always that sense of confidence you had? And
No.
has that affected your relationships at all? Family, friends, whatever. Even your personal relationship with yourself.
I didn't because this when I started like gaining the weight again, like the third time, I was like kind of irritated with myself because I'm like I don't know why I keep letting myself loose. Wes knows the reason why I gained this weight this right now. Um, I'll be honest. I'll tell you guys it was I guess the breakup I had. It was pretty hard, so it kind of like I kind of like depressed ate for like a year, like maybe a year, and it kind of led to my body now. But at this point, I'm like, I am hitting the gym as much as I can. It's not mainly because I don't like the weight on me. It's mainly because of the diabetes that runs hard on my both sides of my family.
The
So I try to
health factor.
the health factor is I need to like eat better, try to lose a little bit of weight. Also for my knees, I really do have bad knees, so I gotta let off the weight that my knees are holding on, so I can do more things and not be in some pain here and there. But yeah, I gained weight. When I gained weight again for the third time, I was really like down on myself because I let loose. But I just like it didn't affect any relationships with anybody, but it did affect relationship myself because I kind of was hating on myself a lot. That's why like that's kind of where the jokes came in. I'm making fun of myself. It started because I was hating myself, but like I ended up accepting it, and then now I was just like, I kind of just make fun of myself for the fun of it. I kind of learned that from my friend who
I- Is the
who
acceptance more of like an acceptance of being proud of who you are now, like despite what maybe others perceive you as, or even how you look at yourself in the mirror. Maybe the confidence still isn't there, right? When you wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror, maybe you're not 100% confident with yourself. You're like, oh man, I look scruffier than I did yesterday. I wish I could look a little cleaner or something, right? Maybe I should shave a little bit or clean it up. Things like that, right? Like people have like their daily, like hygienal things that we like go through. Um, but you said like you kind of just accepted it. Is it an acceptance of like, yeah, I'm proud of what I'm accepting, or it's like, oh, I'm accepting it because I just have to settle for it. That's what was given to me. I'm gonna have to accept it because I hear that a lot, especially those phrases, even in life outside of just like BDD, like this thought of BDD. People will just be like, I have this life I'm living right now. I'm just gonna have to accept it because this is what was given to me. Even though like that there are things that you can alter and change, and all
I
that
got
stuff.
scoliosis. It is what it is, right?
Yeah, like no, like there are
Um,
things that you could actually do something about it. But again,
Fact.
going back to that, tying it, you said it hasn't affected your relationships with other people, but it did affect your relationship with yourself. But in what way had it affected you? Because you're saying you're accepting of it now, but is that acceptance like, yeah, I'm proud of myself, or no, I'm just settling for what I got?
Um, to think that over, Nightlist said in the chat, self-deprecation used as humor can be an extremely dangerous coping mechanism. I understand why it exists, but it can be harrowing. It rarely doesn't come from past trauma.
That's crazy. That's a really good
Like,
feedback.
I
Yeah.
think that's very much true. Um, I think that my body dysmorphia that like I deal with right now isn't even because of my past relationship. I think it's because of like I started like thinking about myself more when I became like single for 2 years, and then I was like, I don't like how I look. It wasn't even when I was in the relationship. When I was in the relationship, I was like,
You're
it
like
is
more
what
like,
it is.
yeah, she loves me. She loves me for who I am. I don't.
But then when I
Yeah.
got single, like maybe a year into being single, I was like, dude, I'm getting a little chunky, like in the stomach area.
get a little belly. I know.
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
now
I
it's
noticed that.
now
That
it's
is
like a
crazy.
thing that like I pinpoint like all the time. Like I'm confident in like my arms and stuff like that and like my chest, but when it comes to like my belly, I'm just like I don't want to go to the beach because I got a belly or something like that. Even if it's not even that big. Like everyone looks at me and they're like, "Oh, you're like skin and bones." And I'm like, "No, like I have a belly.
That's
I
crazy.
eat salad at work."
You sound
Has
like my
anyone
brother.
ever pointed out your belly or anything like that growing up?
Oh, there's a
No.
Fierce and I are laughing because like, oh, it's not the belly that they pointed out. It's not the belly that they
Oh,
pointed out.
It is not the
jeez.
belly that we pointed out. Let me tell you. Let
Hey,
me
when-
tell
No,
you that.
actually,
I'm not gonna say
no one
anything.
Hey,
actually has
it's-
ever commented on my belly.
Side
Ever.
side
But I
note.
think with the past trauma with that is that I noticed that with my dad.
Mm,
And I think with my dad and even like my brother, like I would see like those tendencies and how with age they would get like a little bit of a belly. And my dad like works out like every single night, but I wouldn't say his eating habits are the best. But like what he's doing to lose the weight is not sustainable to actually lose the weight. It's sustainable to be sustainable. And I think that that's maybe the past trauma with that, where I was just like, ooh, I don't want to turn up like that.
yeah. Chat even just said, I'm very skinny, but every time I eat something and I get bloated, I don't feel good about myself. Why is that? Like, I want to throw that in the chat. Like, I want to ask the audience back that question. Why do you not feel good about yourself after eating just because you feel bloated? Like, the bloatingness it's not your fault. The bloatingness comes from what you eat or like what causes that bloatingness, right? And how your body reacts to it. Sometimes it may be an allergic reaction that your body really just can't control. It's not your choice that you bloat. Is it more of like I don't feel good about it myself because like, oh my gosh, like I feel unhealthy right now because I ate something bad or I I ate too much of something? Or is it more like I don't feel good about myself? Like you look at yourself in the mirror after you ate and you're like, oh my God, I don't look good because you feel full. I just wanted to ask that question. Maybe you can respond, chat. But we never.
I think I definitely feel bloated after certain meals. It's
Yeah.
usually carbs, specifically carbs. I feel like maybe I have some sort of
I have a
allergic
gluten
reaction
Yeah,
or
I think
something.
I'm allergic
Yeah.
to gluten. That's why I need like, especially carbs. Rice is really bad. But
As soon as I eat a sandwich, I get bloated.
Yeah.
And it's not even that much. Like it's just 2 pieces of bread, but then it's like meat.
let's remember to ask and get that answer from Fierce. Like, does he accept his situation based off of like
Yeah.
being proud of it, or does he
Mhm.
accept it because he's just settling for what he thinks the standard of who he could only be, right?
Like this is the situation right here, right now. So it's like I love myself for who I am.
Yeah. Chat just said, I don't feel good about myself in the mirror because I feel heavy and greasy. Okay. And then
Greasy?
we have chat just said, just farted out as a response. Just Trixie L, I appreciate you and your humor. You're amazing. Just farted out, she said. Maybe food in
Just
America.
farted out?
Yeah. She's like, if you feel bloated, just fart it out.
Yeah, but if you feel greasy, you should take a shower.
Yeah, maybe food in America. Honestly, yes. American food is definitely a very controversial topic. We should talk about that. Yeah, Chad is all agreeing. American food for sure. But Fears, now that you're back, we wanna hear your response. Unmuted, unfiltered, transparent.
You might have to we ask that.
Yeah, like do you feel that you're accepting of yourself, or like accepting of those traits that you find in yourself based off being proud, or is it more of like, oh, it's just I have to settle for my standard because that's what I believe my standards will only be?
Oh no. I'm proud. I usually never set standards on myself, to be honest. Because it's kind of like I feel like if I try to set a standard for myself, it's like limiting myself.
And you sounding like Peter Parker over here. Okay, Tom Holland. You know,
So-
they said that quote where it's like Zendaya said it, never expect, or what is it? Don't have
Never
high,
expect so you don't
Never
have to be
expect so not to be.
disappointed or something
yeah,
like that.
never expect anything so you don't have to be disappointed in the end. Anyways, yeah, I feel like that's what you were literally just trying to say.
That's about right.
Do you feel like you would disappoint yourself?
What do you mean? You're
Like
you
if you
elaborate more
started
on that?
going to the gym and like dieting and stuff like that, like you went to the gym like 2-3 times a week, and you're like off days and everything like that, and you started dieting and changing your meals, do you feel like you would be disappointed if you didn't reach your goal?
No,
Like, is that something you're scared of?
no. I've done it before. Honestly, when I go to the gym or like when I like do workout and stuff, I usually don't set a goal. I will set where I want to be. Sometimes I don't want to be too skinny. But I won't like time, like I won't set it to like, oh, I'm gonna do it around this time. I'm like, okay, I want to lose this much weight. I don't care how long it takes to lose it. Just try to get to this point. So, because if I set like a time period and I know I don't get it, it's like it's gonna be kind of annoying for me. So I'm just like, so let's just. The only thing I want to set myself is to where I want my weight to be, and that's it.
I get it. I mean, hearing you open up and be vulnerable in this, like even the topic, I can sense it in you. I mean, even the way that you're looking at the camera is a little different than when we vibe and just joke around. I can tell that this might be something that is also you're kind of trying to unlock or untap in your thoughts. So one, I just want to say I appreciate you being open. I mean, that's the whole point of Transparency Thursday, trying to just unlock some of the conversations. But it's very interesting, like your mindset in things. Like it is very admiring, so I can say, because to have the mindset to say like, you know, these are the goals I'm setting for myself because I'm being realistic with myself. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with telling yourself, I want to be realistic, so I'm going to set minimal goals first and see if I can achieve them. Because if I set my goals too high and then it ends up not happening, you just said it. I mean, the word disappointment isn't there. You didn't say disappointed, but you said it would just annoy me. which is a form of disappointment. That you feel that annoyance because you're like, dang it, I set that goal and then I didn't accomplish it when I knew I wanted to accomplish it. Those are the kind of feelings that you have with it. So I admire that you create these realistic perspectives for yourself because you're achieving those goals and you know your limitations or your boundaries for yourself, and you're able to achieve them in the way that you want to. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I would hope, because maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is an assumption, but from the relationship I have with you and understanding you, through this time frame, I can tell that maybe a piece of it you're not really truly being open to yourself about. Maybe you're telling yourself like, yeah, these are my standards, or this is what it is. I have this and I'm proud of it. But when you're proud of something, you look high up. Your head is high and you smile, and when you're confident about something, you speak that, and you have that poise, right? I'm not here to berate you or drag you down. That's not my intention here. That we're all homies here. That's why I wanted to give that disclaimer earlier. But I can sense that there is something there that you're still also. So we respect it. We don't want to push it. I appreciate you for sharing your thoughts, because it is still a very admiring thing. Sometimes I set goals for myself that are definitely like up there, and people will go at me and be like, bro, be real with yourself. Like, you're not gonna accomplish that. Like, and I always have to tell them like, well, okay, then let me prove you wrong. But then sometimes I do have my moments where I fail, right? Like, I'm like, dang it, I did set that bar too high, and I know I couldn't accomplish it. So those are the pieces that I got to learn just from even asking you these questions, because sometimes that's maybe what I need for myself. Because bringing it to me, like with body dysmorphia, I've always had that. I honestly feel that if I were to talk to a doctor and I wanted to get diagnosed to see if this is real for me, I would believe that it is. Because there's a lot of things I am very insecure about with myself, with my physical appearance. When I was little, I mean, I've always been a small boned kid. Like, I was very petite, I was very skinny. Even at by the time I was 20 years old, I weighed literally 120, 115 maybe. That's wild to me. Yeah, I was scrawny. And when I met Laura May, I was literally a walking twig. Imagine a twig, what's the, was it a grasshopper? The grasshopper from A Bug's Life? That's how I look like. Yeah. And then imagine the grasshopper with baggy jeans and a 4XL t-shirt. That's literally how I looked like. And I always wore big clothes because I was hiding the fact of how small I was. But what was happening was even worse, because I was wearing bigger clothes than how I actually, that fit me. So it made me even look smaller than I was actually am. And it affected me a lot. My hair, I blow dry my hair from time to time. I'm insecure about having curly hair as natural curly hair. Where you fears, you can proudly walk out there and be like, yeah, that's my hair. For me, when I wake up in the morning, I have to tell myself man, I gotta go, blow dry my hair.
Fix my hair.
I gotta fix my hair and blow dry it, because literally my coworkers, my colleagues, my boss at work, to this day, when I would go to work and I didn't do my hair, they'll make fun of me right away. They're obviously they're probably joking around and just being playful. But they would say things like, damn, clearly we know who didn't wake up on the right side of the bed, when that's my natural hair, bro. I didn't choose to have curly hair.
Nightless said we call that clothing dysmorphia.
Clothing dysmorphia. yo.
He said, kidding.
That was a phase, okay? We had our punk phase, we had our emo phase. I had my 4XL nightgown phase.
You were a hype beast back then.
Yeah, I was a hype beast. Sure.
Honestly, though, but that style is coming back now. The oversized clothes is back.
Yeah.
It's street fashion. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to
oversized.
But yeah, Chad even said,
it's like me wearing that. That'll fit me.
I definitely didn't just jump on Milo's squeaky toy. I was like, wee!
I thought that was Milo. I was like, yo. But
shop him at Uniqlo. That's true, dude.
I was gonna say, actually, I got the Airism baggy shirt. Yeah,
I
have every single color. I kid you not.
Hey, this Disney, bro. What you mean? This Disney, bro.
Yeah, that's sick. I got all the different colors of the Uniqlo Airism. Okay, anyways, but yeah.
Uniqlo rainbow.
Yeah. And then chat said, body dysmorphia can also stem from other physical features that are non-weight related. Another thing that I feel like I have body dysmorphia with, it got to a point that when I was living in LA, I went to dermatologist and had scheduled every other day. I kid you not, I was doing facials, like skincare stuff, with a Korean like dermatologist, and I was telling them about my eye bags. Like I was telling them, like naturally my eye bags just always look dark and they're like very heavy, even when I'm not exhausted. And when I first started streaming, actually, the first things that Fierce and Wesley would point out was like, bro, you need
They
to
still
go to
didn't fix it.
and it still didn't. They still didn't fix it.
It's still there.
They would comment about my eye bags, and honestly, that actually made me feel like, dang it, like I knew it. Like this is something that I don't feel
We
confident
told you to
in.
go to sleep.
But it's not just a sleep. Like I would like go to sleep, and I'd be like, yo, trust me, guys, I'm getting enough sleep.
Are
It,
you
it was
sure?
just like a physical trait that I was never satisfied with. And chat was like, sorry, sleep won't fix that. LOL. Damn, I'm getting roasted left and right. What?
That's
Yo.
crazy.
But
That's hilarious.
but yeah, that's I think those are like my forms of body
God,
dysmorphia, and just kind of relating to what Fears was talking about. Like, I admire that you have that confidence where you could say like, this is me, bro. Like, and no one or nothing is going to change that, but I'm okay with that. With me, I'm like, this is me, but I gotta fix it somehow. I gotta, and I'm not gonna lie, like, even at this day of it, like me as a man, like a cis man, you know, I'm out there. It's just not commonly talked about by any straight male out there, but I'm out there talking about like maybe potentially getting Botox or something. Like I'm not happy about how my face looks sometimes when I'm watching myself on stream. I'm like, yo, I look weird as hell. I look goofy as hell. There's a lot of serious things that can come from this, and I think it's been happening for me since I was little because there were always comments that I was receiving for every little thing about who I was or who I am genetically, not because I could actually control and alter that. So
Hey, Nihilist
Excuse
said,
me,
baggy
I'm sorry,
eyes,
guys.
drink more water. Your body will thank you. Also, less salt. As much as I feed off the tears of my enemies.
yeah,
But is that a thing? Is that a thing? Like
sodium.
drinking more water and having less salt.
Yeah, high sodium levels. My doctor, even my optometrist, had told me that they saw like a white ring or a white circle in my eyes, and that means that I have high intake
High
of sodium.
sodium.
Yeah, high sodium intake. And that could cause the heaviness in your eye bags. So like now I'm even diet
Oh.
is also a big piece of that, like to change certain things. Chat said, I think social media makes us think we have to be certain way and look certain ways to be happy with our own bodies, and I totally agree. Yeah, it's Trixie saying she has eye bags, and uh, everyone has their own kind of piece that they feel like they're not happy with, and I agree that social media has really like influenced us in ways that are very harmful to our perception of things. Um,
I feel like my baggy eyes is when they're like really, really strained. Like
Yeah.
when I wear glasses, it like dissipates. But if I don't wear glasses, like they just turn into big giant bubbles
Yeah.
Dude, Cat, you're on my
because they're
court.
just working like overtime to try and like see.
Yeah, like actually when wearing glasses, I feel like my eye bags get heavier because I'm over like straining my eyes, or maybe I just need prescription.
Oh.
Yeah, we just need prescription. I want to
You
type.
don't have a prescription.
Yeah, no, I do, but just not new ones. I'm using my like old ones. I wanna hop on and have a question directed to Laura May. I know you had talked about eating disorder last week, about your own personal experience with eating disorder. But you did kind of briefly talked about your body dysmorphia or like BDD. Your thoughts about that? Where does that stem from with you? Because again, like growing up, I never thought like, you know, I think the people we hung out with growing up, we were all very confident in our own ways, and even for our age, we were doing a lot of crazy stuff. Not like toxic crazy things. Like we were doing a lot of wholesome crazy things for our age, and we were going out there on adventures that most people don't really had, aren't very fortunate to be able to do things. We were going to a lot of places where I felt we were very active, but at the same time, I also never thought, again, even the eating disorder never thought it was something that you would have the body dysmorphia thing and never thought that was like something that you or any of our other friends would feel. I thought it was always just me, like on my side, because I felt like even an outcast with that circle back then. Yeah, where did your thoughts or even like this body dysmorphia thing come from?
Definitely stems from the way that I grew up. Like you, it was always the comments that were directed towards me, especially from my mom. So she would just really like pick me apart, like from my eyes to I don't know, my feet, just saying like they're big. I don't know. So just things like that, where it just really got ingrained in my mind that there was just something wrong with me. So every time I looked in the mirror, there was always something that I would pick out. But I also think it's the way that like society is. Like growing up, there's a point where like celebrities and whatnot were really, really skinny. And then, the Kardashians came along and then they had like the big butts, like all the curves in the right places, and then everyone wanted to be like that. And then now, like we talked about last week, what was the Ozempic, right? Now everyone's like really thin again. Oh, hello.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
No, don't be sorry, man. Do you mind actually removing the lock on your phone so that way it could go horizontal?
Oh, bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go. There you go. Let's sorry to interrupt your comments, Lorme, but let's just do a quick introduction. Chat, we want to introduce Basil. He is our guest for today. That we are going to roast heavily on the podcast regarding body dysmorphic disorder. Um, we're really not gonna roast him. We actually really want to respect the situation. This topic.
I was like, yeah, let's see what I walk into, man.
This is getting a little pokey as fuck right now, dude.
Yeah. One, we've never really had such a handsome man ever join us on the chat, so we're kind of okay. We're kind of mid.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, you guys are good too.
we just want to say we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I even right now I could tell you're definitely not home yet, but but we really appreciate you even hopping on and taking this time to really share your stories with us. So thank you, Basil, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Laura May was just sharing her own experiences. We were just kind of asking each other too, like our own thoughts about body dysmorphia. If we've also had our personal experiences based on, what we think of ourselves. And Laura May was sharing with us that yes, like it definitely like existed in her life, especially because like coming from a very traditional Asian family and always wanting like perfection to be a thing, for our parents and our grandparents that, had raised us. She definitely received a bunch of comments that really affected her negatively in her perception of herself. So that's where really her body dysmorphia or BDD kind of came about. Yes, everyone here, I'm assuming, well, Basil, I want to ask, have you actually been professionally or like officially diagnosed with BDD, body dysmorphic disorder, body dysmorphia? Okay, no.
No.
Okay, perfect. So just wanted to say as a disclaimer for our audience that all of our thoughts about body dysmorphia are saying that we have body dysmorphia. Again, it's not based off of like a real diagnosis from a doctor that tells us that we do have body dysmorphia, but it's our personal or internal thoughts relating to body dysmorphia that kind of we feel is definitely heavily tied to our lives. So just want to share that we're not claiming that we are completely or officially diagnosed for it, but it is a very relevant topic or situation that we all think about. But yeah, Lauren Ray, thanks for sharing that. It's very interesting too, because like, majority of us here are come from an Asian family, and especially our traditions and our values kind of are kind of similar. I mean, even coming from an Hispanic family, Fierce, I can say that we do have like kind of strict guidelines or rules that we had to grow up with or follow based off of our parents' teachings. Even for me, like growing up, I had to go to etiquette school. They had to literally teach me that I shouldn't have my elbows in the dining table when I'm eating. I had to have my fork on the left, my spoon on the right, but I always used to eat with my spoon on the left and the fork on the right. That it's
Batty.
yeah, I'm just kind of I'm a rebel like that, but but things like that really caused our thoughts and perception to shift based off of those influences. But a good point that Chad had mentioned earlier was that social media had really affected this generation's perception of what a standard body type should be, or even a standard look, or ideal style. Um, and thank you, Chat. Thank you, Lily, for being here for Basil and Laura May. Really appreciate your support. And
Hi,
then
Lily.
yeah, she said also, I think it hurts more and stays more in our brains if it comes from someone who is supposed to love us like our parents. So it's more of a and we are too hard on ourselves sometimes. And I totally understand that. Like I agree, especially like Laura May, from your perspective, it was coming from your mother, which really meant a lot to you because it was someone who's supposed to like love you unconditionally, and or at least our expectations of what our mother or our parents should be like, right? Um, so yeah, since Basil, you're here now, we want to actually ask you a few questions. So,
Yeah,
but
please do.
but we also want to advise, like, if you have any questions of your own that you want to ask us, please feel free to ask us. We don't want this to just be a one-sided thing. We want it to be a full-on, just casual conversations where we can engage with each other. You can
Um,
even roast us if anything. So we give you full permission to do so.
okay.
But any of you guys want to start with a question to Basil?
Well, before we start, did you want to introduce yourself, Basil?
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Yeah, I'm Basil. I'm 30. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm in a weird angle because I'm still in my uniform. Yee! But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just Filipino. I'm Asian too. Are we all Asian here?
No, bro. How are you gonna assume that? Why are you? I'm just kidding.
I'm Wesley. I'm Chinese and white.
Oh, Wasian,
That's
Wesley Wasian.
Yeah, Wesley
yes.
Asian.
That's Jeremiah. He's Mexican and claims to be Japanese, but I still have yet to see the 23andMe. Of course, Laura May, and then we got Cyru 5.
Yeah, Cyru 5. Yeah, I'm just me.
Okay.
I'm just me. That's
Filipino.
Filipino
Filipino.
too? Oh,
Yeah,
what's up,
Filipino
Latin?
Japanese. Yeah,
Oh, what's
yeah,
up? Okay.
yeah.
Exotic.
Damn, no wonder why you're so handsome, bro. You're Filipino and
Oh.
Japanese?
No, I just
Gee, Jawa.
Come on.
yes, yeah. But let's start it off with some questions for Basil.
What do you think? Why do you think you have body dysmorphia? What are like some issues with your body that you feel like you're wrestling with?
To be honest, before I didn't really give a shit about how I looked until I started exercising and losing weight. And then I started hyperfixating on the number of the scale and the things I didn't like about myself that I never noticed before
Wow.
until I started taking care of myself. Because you put yourself off so long, you don't pay attention to your own needs. But then when I went through a hard time, and then I started focusing on myself and trying to fix my mental health and things like that. And then that's when I started realizing things were wrong about me. And then I started up hating myself and not happy with my progress. And then eventually you just snap, and that's why I think I have body dysmorphia, because I hyperfixate on the things that I don't like about myself. And I'm not appreciating the things that I've accomplished. And then it just messes with you throughout your journey of if you're losing weight, things like that. So
At what point did you realize that you had body dysmorphia, or like at what point were
when
you able to put a name to it?
when people would tell me how great I look and how great I'm progressing, and then I would just blot out, oh, but I still have this. I still have these things about me, or I still have fat over here, or face fat, things like that. And then that's when I took a step back and realized the things I would say when people are just trying to encourage me. I was realized, like, damn, even I don't like acknowledge myself.
It's really
Yeah.
crazy how you say you're sharing that. Because I had this conversation actually with a former colleague of mine, with the thought related to like going to the gym and working out and stuff, right? You said when people started complimenting you, that's when you started to feel more like, wait, there's a lot of things that are still wrong about me.
Yeah.
And a good way that I had heard this was from my former colleague, where he wasn't overweight or obese. Like he wasn't considered like a medically conditioned like obese person, but he knew that he was dissatisfied with how he looked, how he perceived himself. So he started going in the gym and locking in, and it got to a point where like he really started to like really change physically. And we all saw that. Like our colleagues and I would even like compliment him and say like, wow, like we see that the gym is really doing work for you and like it's really improving your body and you're looking a lot healthier and it looks like you also feel happier now. Like we see that a lot of things have changed about you.
You're glowing.
But he looked at it in a perspective in a negative way. He said, why
Same.
was it that I'm only getting compliments now when I'm going to the gym? Because why couldn't everyone else be happy with how I was with myself? Because I was happy still, even before
Mm.
the gym, and I'm happy. I'm happy the same way now, even after the gym. So he actually took the compliments as an offense rather than a compliment. Because he was
Ooh.
saying like, why are people complimenting me now when I wish I had these compliments when I was already telling people I was happy with who I was already, right?
Right.
So that's where like his body dysmorphia started to form, and I could see that relative to your story too. Um, but I want to tie that in. You said like when people started commenting on your progress, you started really like nitpicking and overthinking a lot more.
Yeah.
But
Right.
why is that? Why do you think that you actually regressed rather than progressed like after going to the gym?
Mm,
Ca-
maybe it's because I think it's because I didn't really care about how I looked before too. And I guess that's the same thing with your colleague. That like, how can you even say how good I looked before? Why now, when
Yeah.
I am doing all these things? So I guess it was kind of bitterness, and also about me too, like not being able to see how far I let myself go, how far I just neglected myself. So I guess it was like bitter towards other people and myself.
In the past, before you started going to the gym, were there like health conditions, like actual things that were affecting you negatively?
No, I was just really round.
Okay.
I only started.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
I only started. Yeah, I only started exercising because I was sad. I was going through a hard time. My
Mm,
friend passed away, and then I was just like going on a downward spiral, and I needed something to change to make me feel better because I was just abusing substances and things like that.
interesting.
So yeah, that's why I started exercising, and then yeah, things got better. I started feeling good, but then like when the compliments started coming, I started realizing like, oh shoot, and all these other things, and that's when I started to develop the whole body dysmorphia
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Why did
things I
you
hated about myself.
why did you decide to start going to the gym?
Was
I'll be honest, I was like making a lot of bad choices, and then a buddy of mine saw me spiraling out of control, and he
mm,
told me, hey man, like you can't keep running through the things that you know how to use to cope. Something has to change because obviously this isn't working anymore for you. Because I was a big mess. 2022, I believe, 2021 maybe late.
dang, peak
Um,
pandemic.
yeah, so I was like, okay, well I'll try it, and then slowly, I just got more and more addicted to not, you know, abusing all other external things and just abusing the gym.
Yeah.
And I just kept it going, and the gym did save my life. I would say because I was Lord May could tell you I'm a wild gun, so and it
Yeah.
helped calm me down. Yeah.
Someone in the chat had said it's weird like that. Like I personally went through this. Everyone around me started to finally compliment me or like complimented me, saying I look healthier and I look better, especially when she started becoming more active in the gym. And then
Mm.
weirdly enough, at that time, she was at her lowest mentality, like mentally. Um, so it again, it's that like other people's perceptions sometimes maybe not be the reason of your body dysmorphia. It's really a reflection of yourself and your own thought process. And that might not even stem from what people are saying about like negatively about you. It's more so like what you feel like isn't good enough for yourself. And I think what I'm trying to unlock here from all of us, because it seems like we all have that commonality where it's like, what is it inside us that's making us overthink all of a sudden,
Mhm.
right? Especially now that we're older too. We're all in our age where technically like we're at an age where we shouldn't even care anymore. Like I feel like
That's true. Yeah.
I'm in that point in my life where it's like people's words aren't going to hurt me unless it's really affecting me career-wise or like what doesn't hurt me or what doesn't hurt my financial like stability or status that I'm trying to achieve, what doesn't affect like my way of living, which is waking up in the morning, eating, doing whatever I want, and then going back to sleep. As long as it doesn't affect any of those in my life, it shouldn't matter anymore, right? But it's
Mm.
crazy that even now, as we're older, it actually affects us a little bit more. I never used to go to the gym when I was younger, but I was always insecure or like had thoughts that I was never satisfied about my body with. Now that I'm going to the gym, I feel like I'm actually worse. Like, I agree with you. I feel worse than I used to feel before because I always feel like, bro, it's been 6 months already. Why do I feel like I still look the same? But other people will say otherwise, right? They'll be like, "Yo, man, your shoulders are looking real broad," or like, "What's going on with your arms, bro? It seems like you've been working too much." And then I'll be like, "What are you talking about, bro? Like, I still look. This guy still just got a tattoo on my arm. That's it." Like stupid things like that, right? Like, it's a very weird kind of thought process that we have that makes us feel very affected in a negative way. And I want to hop back to Fierce to ask this question with Fierce. I want this like a whole engaging conversation. So Basil, again, if you have any questions you want to ask us to get to know us, this is a good way to also do it through it. But
Yeah.
Fierce,
So what? Oh,
oh yeah, go ahead, Basil.
you go first. No, you go first.
No,
I
go ahead,
cut
go
you
ahead.
off.
You
Go
you
first.
no, go ahead.
What is your guys' definition of body dysmorphia? Like, what do you think it means to you? Like, I'm curious to see, like, or to hear
To
what you
me,
guys think.
a short way of explaining mine is it's not really usually about weight because I
Mhm.
know to me I can alter and change my weight. I can either overeat or undereat or actually be healthy and go on a diet and do things right, go to the gym and do that. Weight is no longer an issue for me because it doesn't affect me what people say about my weight. But what affects me in terms of body dysmorphia is when I look at myself in the mirror, do I have those standards that other people have in social media? Right? Like it
You
does
compare
affect me.
yourself.
And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say that it doesn't affect me because I've worked more than half of my life. I worked in the entertainment industry. All of my life has been about Hollywood or being a filmmaker, photographer. So there's always those standards that you meet to look a certain way or to be a certain standard, to be to
Ah.
have a certain stature in this industry. So it affected me a lot mentally, where it's like, no, my eye bags are too heavy. I gotta go put on concealer. Like, oh no, like my skin isn't too good. Like I gotta make sure I use my SPF and get my moisturizer on, right? Like those things really affect me. Every night, every day, I'm like focused on my skincare, my hair, how my hair looks. Those are my form of body dysmorphia.
You are one hot mess.
Yeah, man, I'm a. Shoo. My therapist tells me I need another therapist for her, cause that's how hard.
Yeah.
That's how hard I cause the problems. Like, you're
Double
so
charge.
you're so problematic. I gotta hire a therapist because of what.
Bro, you're toxic. You're like anxiety and shit is getting the therapist anxiety.
Emphasis. Chad said emphasis on hot. Yeah.
Hot.
Oh man. But yeah, you guys. Good way. We could pass it off. Wesley, what do you think of body? Or like, what is a body dysmorphia to you?
I think, well, scientifically, medically, it's like worry a lot about specific areas of your body, particularly your face. That part I don't agree with. I don't think it's specifically your face.
It's not fair because you got the white blood in you, the white genes in you. Is just
Dude, my
giving you an-
face involves my hairline. Okay?
okay.
Okay, maybe that is part of it. That is part of my body dysmorphia. And that's something that like I'm actively trying to like do something about.
Please don't do this to me.
Don't do it to you. You do it to me every day. My God. No, so like I'm very, very I already know I have like very thin, fine hair, like even since I was like growing up. And that's something I was like always like insecure about. And then like I started wearing hats more.
Which could actually be
because
worse.
it makes it worse, but I started wearing it because of work. Like it is what it is. I had to wear hats.
Basil.
And it started making it worse. Obviously, I started getting older. I started stressing more too, just in general, with just different like life things that go on, and it's affected like my hairline a lot. I feel like it has since my graduation photos, and that would be one part that I think is agreeing, but I don't think that's the only thing about me that I feel insecure about or target, right? Spending a lot of time comparing your looks with other people's. I don't compare myself to other people. That's one thing that I don't really agree with. Look at yourself in a mirror a lot and avoid mirrors altogether. I do look at myself in the mirror. I don't avoid the mirrors. Would you say you look at yourself in the mirror a lot? Cyrus?
That's
You do have one in your living room.
there's a schedule. There's a schedule. I got a schedule.
Yay!
Wake up in the morning. I gotta do my skincare, so I gotta look at myself in the mirror.
I mean-
outfit of the day. I think it's just because I think it's my maybe also my lifestyle. Like I'm into fashion. I like fashion, so I have to have a mirror in the living room.
Does us liking fashion, does that stem from our body dysmorphia? Because we're trying to, in a way,
Kind of guys.
compensate
Yeah.
For like what we
for
were-
our own like other things. Like I like fashion and everything like that, and being like presentable and everything like that. Like hair for me too. Like that's something like I mess with like all the time.
Now that's a good question.
Just like you.
That's a good question.
That's
I
a good
think,
question.
yeah. Now that I think about it, like if if my therapist were to ask me that question, she would tell me dig deep. And I'm thinking about it like, Lorma used to say, like, yeah, I used to be a hypebeast. A hypebeast. Like I really liked, sneakers growing up.
I was too.
Yeah, but on top of the sneakers, it wasn't just the sneakers I was rocking. I was always like trying to get clothes that would make it work well. When a lot of the style in street fashion and being a hype beast back in the day was literally like if you got really good jeans to rock it off with your Jordans and then you got a nice pair of white tees, like white tees on, you're solid, right? To me, I was like, no, I don't want to just rock a white tee and some, selvage denim with, with my Jordan 1s. I want to like rock my Jordan 1s with, try to look at how I could look like with a cardigan on or something, or like something else to kind of style it with. But I think it was because compensating for something that I lacked, which was my body. Like I wasn't satisfied with my body.
Damn, dude,
So-
I just
That's
woke you.
fire.
Yeah, so I
Yeah, that's a bar.
as bars, yeah.
That's a bar.
So,
That's a bar.
yeah.
Hey, write that down for a rapper.
So I
Hey,
had
that-
to.
Yeah, write it down.
Write that
I-
down for a mixtape.
Write it
coming out soon.
down.
Sometimes
Right
I don't
there.
even know what I
Coming
say
out
anymore. So I hide what was inside because I was never satisfied with it. Like even my nano leaf was dancing for those bars, bro. Hold on, let me started acting up on me. It's wild. Okay.
I definitely feel you though. Like I
Yeah.
think growing up, like our whole your story is pretty similar to like my story. I don't think we have necessarily all the same like areas, like in terms of like insecurities or body dysmorphia, but it is very similar. Does anyone here feel like they pick at their skin to make it smooth?
Oh, like you're pinching,
actually
you're
picking at it.
peeling at yourself. Like,
Yeah.
No.
We'll have a sunburn. That's a different story.
is that like maybe?
That is an actual
That's
symptom.
crazy.
Like top ones.
Ooh, chat
Yeah.
Chat
it is.
said me, like in all caps. I pick out my hair. She's like she constantly picks her hair, but like
Pick at your skin to make it smooth.
to make
Quote
it
unquote
smooth.
smooth.
That's crazy. No, I use skincare for that.
You're not crazy if you do it.
Yeah. I think I like there are certain people that like I see that like maybe like biting their nails or like picking on their skin, like on their finger.
But
Yeah,
I feel like those are nervous ticks. I don't think that's you trying to like perfectionate your nails. I feel like that's like I really shouldn't freaking do this. But
Yeah.
like I want to do it because I'm nervous right now.
Oh, interesting. And you think that kind of stems from like, or that is a form of like body dysmorphia, like something kind of like you're dissatisfied with? Is that a thought that you're like thinking of?
I can ask Goofy.
Oh, so okay, so he was the
He
one
picks
having.
his nails a lot.
Chat is saying, trichotillomania is when you pick out your hair uncontrollably. And I had birth control induced painful cystic acne, and it was so bad that I wouldn't want to go outside, but I would pop all of them SMH, and I know it's so bad. So like she was having
Oh, you're gonna
really.
scar it.
Yeah, well, it's her skin has gotten better from what I know here. So, but like, yeah, so after she got off her birth control or something, and this is actually a common issue that had happened to a lot of women that have taken the same birth control. It had affected them hormonally, like including like the way that their face or like acne had really just started to sprout from different parts of their body. And this affected her so much to the point that like she was very, very like insecure about her, like how she perceived herself out, even though like to other people it wasn't like a big deal. But yeah, she said it is getting much better now, and she has spoken to dermatologists like time and time since then, where she is now in like proper medication and like process to have her skin look better. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know we didn't get Fierce and Laura May. Basil's question was like, what is like body dysmorphia to you guys? What's really interesting, actually, Basil, I want to give you like kind of a quick background. We had asked Fierce or Jeremiah, sorry, we call him Fierce, but Jeremiah, we asked him first the question like, is body dysmorphia or does body dysmorphia ever existed in your life? And he said no. And his responses were very interesting. Share with us a little bit about it again, Fierce, like where your thoughts kind of form, like where it comes from, and share a little bit of your definition of body dysmorphia, even if you say that it's not actually really apparent in your life.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I said. That's ADHD me for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, I really have a hard time remembering after 2 seconds.
Well, yeah, go ahead. You said you didn't have it, or you don't have, or it doesn't exist in your life. Body dysmorphia isn't really a thing for you, and then you kind of shared why.
Yeah,
which
because
is
like I guess Wes asked me like, why do I grow beard and stuff? And I know people are like, oh, they grow beard because they don't like,
The chin.
The chin.
Yeah,
I mean,
I got a small chin. That's why I have a beard.
Ah!
like, hey, my work picture has like nothing here. It's just my chin, right? And I was like, oh, it doesn't bother me anything. Because I was telling Wes that the reason why I started growing my beard finally because when I was with my ex, she didn't like a beard at all.
Wow.
I guess she didn't
Toxic.
like. She was kind of like my mom. Like she likes a little, but she doesn't like how my beard was before I trimmed it down. But she wanted me smooth, clean. I felt like I was playing for the New York Yankees. If you guys don't know, anybody who plays for New York Yankees, you can't have a beard at all.
That's wild.
That's an actual rule? Like it's in your contract?
Well, I could
play for the Yankees. They're old school.
In the military, yeah, it's like that
They're
too.
one of the oldest teams in the league, so they try to keep it old school. And I was like, I mean, it doesn't bother me really because my beard wasn't growing as much as it does now at that time. But when things happened, it didn't work out anymore. One of the first things that I did was started growing this out more, trimming it, shaving it just so it can go better, faster and stuff. But like I believe that I don't because it's just like I've been able to. I mean, I was skinny before I gained weight because of a breakup, and I know I depressed eat. I mean, I like eating. If you don't know, I love eating food.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Who doesn't,
who
bro?
doesn't?
Yeah, food is the universal love language, yo.
I'm the type of person I'll eat. I'll be full, but I'll still eat because like I like to enjoy the food, and I hate going to waste. I guess it's the Mexican in me. But yeah, I let go, and I think I gained like 80 pounds when I let go.
Dang.
To where I'm at now.
But still, you said earlier you said like you were still very proud of yourself, despite of your weight gain. You're still proud of yourself with who you are and what you see yourself in the mirror, and that's a really great thing.
It's interesting you said 80 pounds though, because it's like that means you're counting.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point.
No, I counted. I always count everything like that. It's ADHD me wants to know things.
Okay, how about this?
I need to know things before
okay,
my brain
actually,
won't let me let go.
Yeah, okay, you kind of just answered it. Okay, because I was gonna say like if it isn't about an insecurity or like the feeling of body dysmorphia, why do you count then, or like why does it matter to you? But again, there's another underlying condition because in your situation, truthfully, you do have ADHD, so there are certain things that you are just very like heavily focused on or like you think about, and then if it's not something of your interest, it could easily get away from your mind, right? So that's why you fixate on certain things sometimes too.
Yeah,
so that makes sense. And it's crazy. Again, going back to that, like Fierce, and even in other podcast topics that we've had, he is the most wholesome person, very like genuine about his responses. He's just very like so Like in this,
Jolly go lucky.
yeah, he's like today's hippie. Like if we were to if you were to meet a hippie, bro, that doesn't actually do drugs.
Call him Jolly Boy, bro.
Jo-
You
Jo-
trying
Call me
to...
Call him
Jolly
Jo-
Boy.
Can I call?
Jollibee? Did you say Jollibee?
I was gonna say Jollibee. I was like, call him Jollibee. But if you were looking for a modern day hippie that doesn't smoke or do drugs, that's fierce for you. Like,
Not now.
Yeah.
Not now.
Not
Nah,
anymore.
nah.
Not anymore.
Not now.
yeah,
Hey.
that's what I'm saying. But Lord May, what
No.
does body dysmorphia mean to you in question to Basil's question? I mean,
I
sorry.
would say having like a distorted perception of myself. Like, I think like, some people might say like, oh, you're actually like kind of small. But when I look in the mirror, I feel like really big. Or for example, last year, I remember like I was pretty consistent with the gym. I felt really good. Like I felt really toned. And then I saw like a scale in my friend's bathroom and I was like, oh, I haven't weighed myself in a while. And then the number was a lot higher than what I thought it would be. And then that just like got really in my head.
Muscle
and
weighs more than fat.
Yeah, true. But it was a
think that's a
lot
myth.
higher than what I last saw. So, but yeah, that is true. Muscle weighs more than fat. But yeah, just a distorted perception of yourself. Like looking into what are those mirrors called? Like at the circus or something?
Yeah. Well,
The
Yeah.
The ones that make you
It's
look
like
all
all like
weird.
wavy.
Yeah,
or,
that
like,
just makes you look
those
weird.
ones. Yeah.
Like you like widen some parts or like, and yeah. Kinda like that.
Here's a thought in terms of perception, right? In the topic of perception regarding body dysmorphia, right? It is always going to be based off of because we're dissatisfied of something we see of ourselves, right? In a reflection of something, whether it be a mirror, a picture that we take, maybe a video that was recorded of us, or based off of a reflection of someone's words. Now, have you guys ever thought in your life, just kind of like something to think about? Have you ever thought in your life what you actually look like from someone else's eyes? If you had the chance to like wake up one day and be like, like Freaky Friday kind of moment, and you end up being in someone else's body and you can see yourself through that other person, like through their eyes, do you think that you would look at yourself and be like, wait, I am happy of that guy or that girl. Like I am happy of what I see in that person.
No.
Damn.
I think so, because you're so used to seeing yourself in the mirror every day that you're just like, oh, that's just how
But
I
you
am.
said eyes, not brain. If you were in someone else's brain, it would be a different thought process.
Damn,
but
he
if you're
just went
in
deep.
their eyes, then it's obviously you have the same brain, you have the same mentality, and you're just gonna look at yourself, and
Right,
it's gonna be
yeah.
just like the mirror.
Damn. So
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
yeah. So that is a good point. Damn, from Wes's point of view, yeah, like it's still your thought process. It's just a different perception. But do you think that it's our thoughts that alter our perception, or it's what we see that alters our thoughts?
Oh shit.
See, like, because sometimes what we see could be a lie. Like, for example, like a reflection of, have you ever seen the,
Oh no,
Visual-
brain,
right?
brain,
So it's about your brain.
colorblind.
Well, yeah, or that being colorblind, for example, or like the reflection that you see out in the ocean where you see like the ship is floating, but really it's not. It's just the heat waves and science and whatever in the ocean, the reflection of the water. Your eyes are making you perceive that there's a boat floating out there in the ocean when it's not touching the water, but really it's just a reflection that you see with your eyes. And then now, because of what you see, it's making your brain think that it's a floating boat. So what if, again, bringing that question back, what if you get into someone's eyes and you look at yourself and you're like, wow, do you think you'll say, yeah, I'm proud of what I'm seeing of who I am, but in someone else's perception?
I don't know. I would have to experience it.
Yeah,
I would have to experience it.
that's a good.
That's something. Yeah, you would have to. That's something you would have to experience
Because
you only see yourself through your eyes.
yeah, because that's I think I thought I've always had. Like, does body dysmorphia exist for me? Because I don't know what other people are actually perceiving. Like, my ex-girlfriends in the past hated my curly hair. In a way, not like in a way, it would be like literally there was one time we were just gonna go out to hang out, somewhere with friends, and I didn't do my hair. So Basil, a little quick story, background story. My hair is actually
Yeah.
not straight. It's naturally wavy, curly. Like maybe like
Mm.
not as cool as Fierce, but like definitely wavy or curly, like almost like Fierce. But I blow dry my hair like majority of the week. Like I'll blow dry to kind of do my hair and make it look go up or whatever. But my exes didn't like my curly hair to the point that like we were gonna go and hang out with friends, and they're like before I left, and they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna do your hair." So it made me feel like,
Oh my
yeah, you're not gonna
gosh.
do your hair before we leave. So
Toxica.
so I looked at it as like, so is this how they look at me? This is how they see me? Like my hair, if I don't do my hair, if it's just my natural curly hair, I
Your hair
look
is
like,
your personality.
yeah, I look sloppy, I look ugly, or I'm not good enough. Like, so is that gonna be the perception I'm gonna see of myself if I was in someone else's eyes? Would I also be dissatisfied of what I see? But like it's a little crazy. Um, someone actually
You
asked
know
on
what's
chat. Oh, sorry, go
Yeah, go
ahead.
for it.
Go.
What's funny is that I was the opposite, and I just have a straight hair, and I wanted curly hair when I had like long hair.
Yeah,
I
everybody
wanted
wants curly
curly
hair
or
now.
wavy hair. So like before we went to church in the morning, I would have my sister literally wave my hair and make it like curly, and then I would go to church with curly hair.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Like literally, people will go to a barber shop now asking for a perm. Like it's wild that
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, people
right?
get perms.
Like
Yeah,
you
I
used
got
to,
people get
curly hair.
perms.
you used to bully me all the time. Now you want to be like me, yo. Like just say I was him. Just say I was him this whole time, bro.
He's him.
But Lily said it's because we are always looking at ourselves and picking ourselves apart. And I agree. Chad also had asked, Laura May, does this is directed to you, Laura May. Does social media play into your body dysmorphia? Not just the perception of what your mom had kind of instilled in you.
Maybe once upon a time, but not anymore. I think I've come to like be more accepting of myself, and it's like a me against me type of thing, not me against like another girl. Everyone's different, everyone's beautiful in their own ways, and I had to realize that for myself.
Nice. Basil, I wanted to ask you.
Mhm.
You said most of your body dysmorphia thoughts just kind of recently like came up, right? Because of like going to the gym and stuff.
Mhm.
Are you like in your situation right now? Are there things that you're trying to alter, even with your perception or even with your thoughts, to not make yourself be more like, why am I so like nitpicky about myself?
Yeah, yeah. Once I realized that, like I said, when I realized the things I would say back when I get compliments and things I thought about, I realized that's not the right way to think. I'm trying to rewire my brain. So now I'm doing things differently. Restructured how I work out, the way I approach it, and the way I'm my end goal. So I'm just enjoying the journey versus just trying to get to the fucking end and be perfect right away. So yeah,
You do have an end goal?
yeah, I have an end goal. I want to reach at least 200, and then I just want to stay there. I don't want to be super jacked or ripped. I just want to be healthy and be able to squeeze into tight places.
That's awesome.
That's about it. Yeah.
Like I grew up as a dancer, and I did that professionally and stuff. My biggest form of workout or my type of workout at the gym too is calisthenics, right? Like I would actually prefer calisthenics over like heavyweight lifting, where other people prefer that way because they want to see their physical form really change, right? To me, I want to be like a sleeper build where it's like I want to be looked at as like, look at this scrawny guy, but you take off your shirt and you look like One Punch Man, like it's like dead end, game over, right? Like where you look,
No, you gotta be like Master Roshi.
yeah, like Bruce Lee, like looking fit, right?
Living in this house right
Um,
behind me, Roshi over here.
and I think that
Uncle
thought,
Iroh, bro.
Oh, Gyro, yeah.
like that thought process for me also comes from that idea that like I think now that we're in our 30s and stuff, like we kind of think less of what more of society is trying to instill in us. It's easier for us to it's easier for us now to disengage with what reality is supposed to be. And we're becoming more open to the idea that we can create our realities based off of what we choose for ourselves as a satisfaction. And that's a great mentality that you're putting yourself into, right? To put in that space to
Yeah.
say like, man, yeah, you know what? It's not about the compliments. It's not about how I
Yeah.
want to look physically. Again, going back to what Fears was saying earlier, like I really admire that because he's like, so what if I'm this or so what if I'm that? I'm happy with my life, and that's what should matter.
Yeah, and I agree with Wesley what he said earlier, where he doesn't care about standards, or he doesn't compare to himself to anyone else. And I do the same. I don't. I compare myself to myself. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Who I was before versus who I am now.
Yeah, it's awesome
Yeah.
because that's the thing to me. Yeah, like I want to be able to say like I can do, these type of workouts that you probably can't do, despite you saying that you can lift like 400 pounds of deadlifting, right? Like
Dude, calisthenics is hard.
it's hard. So I
It's
want to be
hard.
I want to
Yeah,
be
it's
able to
body
be
weight.
proud of that and say like, well, this is my goal.
Your thing.
And
Yeah.
if my body form isn't as big as you, looking like Arnold, like that's all right. Like because I'll never be.
Most of those dudes are on steroids anyway. It's all
Exactly.
fake.
And
They're
and
all
also and also like
Compare yourself to
and
word it
also
out, you know?
No natty in
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Also, we
Never
also
bar
gotta
over
think
here.
about genetically too. Like now, we're again, like genetically, I'm aware that I'm never gonna be as big as Arnold, because one,
Yeah.
I'm already tiny as is.
Asian.
Yeah, that's how we are.
You
So,
probably could if you got to the gym 3 times a day,
Bro.
and if you ate like
a mass amount of
food.
protein. I mean,
mass
like-
amount of food.
yeah,
JJ Watt, he eats 12,000 calories a day.
But you would
works out.
just completely break down your body.
oh yeah, this is definitely in my brain.
That's
too.
what they're doing. They're destroying their body.
Yeah, tiny brain,
You
big
work
body. I'm
out,
just
yeah.
kidding. No problem. I mean, I have no.
Tiny brain, no workout.
sorry.
That's
I
not the only thing that's tiny if they're taking steroids.
Yeah. I have nothing against. I have nothing against bodybuilders, but I do have a thing against.
Dick shaving. Wow.
Yeah,
Yikes,
Yeah.
bro.
yeah,
They probably have body dysmorphia
yeah.
because they took steroids.
Jeez,
Caused their body to
sweating bullets.
Oh, they're like, I overcame my body dysmorphia because I'm big.
I gained a
Wait,
new
In
it's
all
pound.
the other
back.
places.
It still exists. Yeah. We have nothing against bodybuilders, but we are against people that are using drugs for wrong reasons. Drop the mic on that one.
Is it wrong though to use drugs like steroids to be technically healthier with your body physically?
But you're not actually being healthy though. You're actually
you're not.
you're
Steroids
actually
isn't
killing
really
your body
healthy.
inside. Externally it looks good, but internally you're killing yourself inside.
destroying
Not just for men getting a
I
small
don't even know what
pee-pee.
the side effects are.
There's a lot of
I'm just
side
like
effects.
steroids
Yeah,
bad.
heart
Don't use
attack.
it.
Yeah,
Heart will blow up,
steroids is
yeah.
actually a really bad drug. That's why I said like we don't disagree with bodybuilders doing their thing because dang, that's a sport in itself. But we are definitely against people that use certain drugs to try to achieve a certain goal the wrong way, because that could have a lot of altering effects mentally, physically, internally. It may look good on the outside, but we don't condone that. Not on this podcast. So I want to give that disclaimer in the chat. That's not something we are definitely promoting. But yeah, usually we end our podcast around 9 p.m. It's getting down to that point now if it's 8:50 now. Do you have any even other questions? A good way to get to know you a little bit more too, Basil. Did we miss any
Yeah.
questions that maybe you wanted to tap into and answer too?
No, I just wanted to. I thought I would just come and explain and answer a few questions. So
Yeah.
you guys got it all. You asked about it, and I asked what I wanted to know, what you guys think about it, because everyone has a different definition. Obviously, some people worry about this or that, or we all have different opinions on what body dysmorphia is. I like bro with the Kami house. He doesn't give a f about
Yeah.
nothing. I want to reach that mentality.
He's legit Master Roshi,
I'll be
bro.
on it, bro. When I reach that point, I'll come back and let you know how I got there. But yeah.
We ask him
I'm glad,
too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one too, because it's something people suffer in silence. So, and I talked to Laura May about it before, and it helped me navigate my own issues. So, this is great. I
Would you-
appreciate you guys for having me.
Would you say that you still deal with body dysmorphia though?
No. Oh, well, I'm yes and no, because now I recognize the issue. So I'm actively. It's an everyday battle, right? I wouldn't say it'll ever completely go away, but as long as I recognize the issues, I'll work on it every time it comes up. So I think I'm a lot better with it now, and I feel a lot healthier. Because I was starving myself up last year. I swear, I look malnourished. I'm cool now though. But yeah.
I even that I really appreciate you being transparent with us. Just like with that process, because it's really great to have you be our guest and share your thoughts. Because with a topic like this, body dysmorphia, it's commonly spoken of or talked about like in with women. A lot of the times when you think of body
Yeah.
dysmorphia, it's a woman's insecurity. Like it's just them not being satisfied enough, blah blah blah. And yes, we can also agree that like social media plays a big part of that in what influences women, especially women that are growing up from teens to their 20s and their 30s, it all stems from like being young and then having these expectations of what it is to be a woman, right? In this especially in this generation. But it's great that we got to have someone like you, Basil. We really appreciate coming from a man's perspective, right? Well, first I want to ask politely your gender pronoun because I don't want to assume. Is
That
it
boy. I'm
uh,
just kidding.
that boy?
You know.
Okay, okay.
That boy.
He's that boy. He's not
Get
him.
bro.
He's not him. He's that boy. Yo,
Yo,
chat.
somebody clip.
Yo, yeah, I gotta
I already
clip. We have to clip this.
I'm still in video recording.
Good.
Basil, are you
I'm still in
single?
video recording this whole thing.
There
Yeah,
was zero
I'm single like a
hesitation with
Pringle.
that.
Yeah.
Hey, he's single like a Pringle. Chat.
Like a
If
Pringle,
you're out
man.
there and you're looking for a that boy, we found him. We found him.
Wait.
I'm like
That
Durkin
boy
right
or
now,
that boy?
TATBOI.
Okay, I thought you
That boy.
that boy.
That boy.
If you're looking for that boy, we found him. But thank you again, for sharing your perspective because it means a lot. Like to give awareness that like not only women do have have these insecurities or this conversation about body dysmorphia, us men too have our own insecurities in our way, right? And sometimes we even shelter that and really keep it to ourselves, and we don't have any. We don't always have that opportunity to talk about it with other people. We definitely do talk about it with our
We have to
homies.
be men, and
Yeah.
it's a sign of
I'm not good.
weakness to have emotions
And
and feelings.
going back to what your chat said, Wesley, right? As from a men's perspective, bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, from the men's perspective, we definitely talk about it, but very comically with the homies, right? With the bros. Whenever we're with the bros, we always say a lot of things that are actually based off of our insecurities or the things that really like reflect on who we are. So we self-deprecate, and we do that all the time when we talk to the homies. But people don't realize that in itself is also the problem because the self-deprecation is a reflection of what we're really not satisfied with. Sometimes, right? Self-deprecating can just be a very comical thing because it's an easy target to just target ourselves and target someone else. But it can also be very harmful if used very commonly or often. So I really, again, thank you for like coming in, sharing your perspective. Being on your way home and stopping by to the side before you got home. We really
I
appreciate
know,
the
I'm
time.
sorry I'm in the car. It's
No,
getting
do
dark.
not be sorry. We had this conversation. We had another friend, one of my colleagues before that actually joined, and she was in the car because she was hiding from her daughters or like her kids. so
it's
she,
cool. I'm not
she
the only
wanted
one.
it. Yeah. So you're not the first. Trust me.
Okay, cool.
But before we end the podcast, we always ask, from our guests, if you had something to share to the audience, to our chat that's listening out there, what would be like a sort of advice that you would want to kind of share based off your personal experiences with body dysmorphia? Something that may be, aspiring or something that they could admire to.
Coming from me, don't hold it in. Don't try to work everything out on your own. Sometimes you need a helping hand, a little extra spark, because sometimes you can't just do it by yourself. I tend to try to do everything on my own, and I don't reach out for help. But then, just like working out and getting myself out of the substance abuse issues, someone else reached out to me and helped out. So accept the help is what I want to say. Accept help sometimes.
That I just want to say thank you for saying all that. It matches up to our previous guest last week. The exact same response.
Yeah.
The exact same
really?
response
Yeah.
was speak up.
Yeah. Speak up.
Let it out.
Yeah, speak
And-
up.
Ask for help.
But be
Open up.
be open to the feedback.
Be open. Mhm.
Because it really does, change. A lot of us, I think, maybe even in this chat, have been saved by a friend, or two,
Yeah.
at one point in our lives, and even for me, Laura, maybe we talked about, and maybe one day this guy, or maybe he's actually listening on this chat now, but Nolan, a friend of mine, Nolan, a good old friend of mine, Nolan, I haven't spoken to him in years now, but he had saved my life in the past where I also was involved with, heavily use of substances. But he changed my life because he said, either you choose this or you choose your friends. And if you
Exactly. Yeah.
if you continue doing this, then there's no friend. We don't need to be friends anymore. And to me, it really affected me a lot because my friends matter to me. Like blood means to me. So when he did that and he said those things to me, it really changed my perception and things. And then I ended up joining a youth group with him, you know, and a lot of things have changed and given me new perspective. Although that youth group was also problematic and caused a lot of problems in my life. But you know, that's another topic to talk about. Hey, you, I'm
On
out to
next
get
week's
you.
episode, youth groups.
Yeah, youth group. I'm out to get you one day. I got you.
Transparency Thursday, youth groups.
Don't worry, my lawyer's
Actually,
right
that
behind
would
me.
be good. That would be good. I'm not gonna lie.
But
Maybe.
yeah, no,
Yes.
thank you for sharing that. It really means a lot to us that you get to share that perspective, because a lot of people, even in the chat, you know, maybe some of them are also afraid of speaking up or even talking about it. So they fight alone, right? They battle their own battles quietly and to themselves. But even something like this, body dysmorphic disorder is a health condition in itself. It is something serious. So if you feel that you're like, even for like us, where we are kind of self-diagnosing ourselves, but if you feel that you're strongly have been involved in that space for a few years now, maybe, or even for a few months, I would say open up, have conversations with your friends, maybe have a visit with the doctor and just have that conversation with the professional, see what their thoughts of it are, because that could also alter the courses of things that you're doing in your life, including the way that you're eating, the way that you're taking care of yourself by resting properly, even as simple as drinking a lot of water, right? You know, proper things to just make ourselves be healthier and happier with our lives. That's the intention of, you know, what our conversation was about tonight. Any of you guys have any advice? Fears, actually, I want to hear an advice from you. With your perspective of someone that doesn't feel like is heavily on that space of body dysmorphia, what would you share to others to have maybe that kind of same mentality that you have? Yeah.
Sorry, my cat's being annoying on my desk.
If you got it, or you need some time.
Yeah, give me some time. Okay.
Okay.
Give me like a
Let
sec.
me go off
Yeah,
of
Wes and
Cyrus's
Lorme,
thing.
yeah.
So you may not even realize it now that you even have body dysmorphia. Same with like mental health issues, right? But I think what would be beneficial for you is to look back on your past and see different patterns. If you can recollect any sort of different patterns, they might not even be negative patterns, but those patterns can change your future and the way that you are like right now. Like, I didn't really get cool clothes growing up, so like now like I try and buy like cool clothes. But what it does that stem from what we discussed earlier? Is that actually our metrosexuality of like liking fashion, or is that from like neglect of being able to do that growing up? Or is that the signs that we were hiding our true physical selves? Right? So I think looking back on your past and just kind of realizing different patterns, I think that would help you to maybe realize if you even do have body dysmorphia. Because maybe you don't, and you just don't even realize it. Like some people literally don't even know that they have anxiety, but like they're stressed out of their mind.
Constantly, yeah. It's like, why do
Like
I
why do I overthink?
why do I have night
What does that
sweats?
even
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then they're like, you have anxiety. What is anxiety? Right? So maybe you don't even know that you know it.
Yeah.
That you have it, but you actually do. And then once you do realize that, I would say just get a support system.
Yeah. There's
Just like what Basil said, speak up. Talk to
nothing
your
wrong with
friends.
nothing wrong with asking for help. Never.
Yeah.
And this comes from a person who was very prideful, never wanted a therapist, despised the medical field in many ways, and I could back my thoughts up on why, and that could be a whole nother topic. But actually now, and openly sharing it out there and telling people, seek for help, because it will really change your perspective and make you realize that there are a lot of things that you still don't know, even though you say you do. Like me, who was a very prideful, egotistic person. So yeah, Lauren May, any thoughts, any advice that you would want to share too, even with your experiences?
Gonna keep it simple again. Just love yourself. Know that you're not alone, even if you feel like you're alone. There's always other people out there that might feel the way that you do. So speak up if you can.
Thank you. Fierce. We want to end it off with your thoughts, man. Someone who doesn't really go through the troubles of body dysmorphia or even those thoughts of or self doubt and stuff. what would you share to people? Maybe even to kind of have the same mindset that maybe you have.
Yeah, honestly, I would say it's for me is more of acceptance of how I got to this point, because I guess like the build up or the journey of how you get to a certain point, sometimes it's like you're thinking, okay, I did this. I know it's knowing that you did something you shouldn't be doing, but like for me, I should have been eating all that, but I just couldn't stop myself.
Ah,
But it's like, all right, you accept that this happened, but you can't let it bother you because you're gonna be down on yourself the whole time. Because I did, it was a small amount, maybe for like I think what is like a month where like the max hit. When I finally hit max, I stopped. I was down on myself for like, I was like, ooh, I did make a mistake, and um, how I found what made it like worse was like I got back my high cholesterol and my high blood pressure back that I got rid of before, and then um, what's known is not a lot of people know I have arthritis on my knees, and it started getting worse. The pain started getting worse. So it's like now it's accepting that this is
Maya, how much does William have on his card? His
nah. Love it.
it should have like $90 on it. I don't know. I have to check
This
it out.
is a this is the
I'll
perk
check
of
after.
Jeremiah on our
I
podcast.
have it on my phone.
He's
I'll
like
check
that. He's like Doug from Up. Squirrel.
it. Yeah. The ADHD is really bad.
No, but this
It's
is great. This is like, uh,
This what makes me fun. This what makes it funny for me.
can
The rest is fun.
I try to kind of dissect that? Dang, bro, they calling for you, dude. they're looking for you. Basil's right here. That boy's right here. That boy's right here. That boy's here.
I mean,
Can I dissect a little bit of what you were saying, Jeremiah? Would you say, correct me if I'm wrong, it's more of like if someone were to tell you that there's a fire, don't stick your finger in the fire because it's gonna burn, and then you did it anyways. You can't be like, "Ow, that hurts." Well, no shit, it hurts, bro. We just told you it's gonna burn you, so you can't complain about something that you caused upon yourself, type thing, right? But you can alter the outcome of that situation by just thinking differently moving forward. So let's say, like you said, I overate. I chose that, but I'm also gonna accept the fact that I overate because I also enjoy the idea of eating good food, and it's because I overate because I chose to, because I enjoy the food, not just because I was overeating. But I also know I can alter the situation by just going to the gym tomorrow to make up for overeating. That kind of mindset, would you say, is like the way for people to go about if there are certain things that maybe they might not be satisfied with? Um, or is it a whole kind of different process that you're kind of explaining?
Well, I've always told people I have a friend, Marcos, no names. I hope he's not watching this. But she always, every time I talk to her, she's always like, I hate the way I look. I look fat. And I'm like, why think so much negative on yourself, bringing yourself down? Why don't you think positive? Like, okay, I'm not saying anything. All
Yeah.
right. I tell her, I'm not saying anything that you are. I'm just saying, if you're gonna think of this and that, then you need to think positive and what you're gonna do if you're complaining about that.
Mm,
That's what I'm saying. You need. I'm really straight up with her because she's
Yeah.
one of my closest friends.
Like you're like, what's the
So-
point of complaining if you're not gonna do anything about it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, why are you
Yeah.
gonna complain? You're not gonna do anything about it. Like, you need to do something about it if you're gonna keep complaining.
Yeah.
Because
Instead
one,
of just
for me-
accepting it and just being like,
exactly. Your
Yeah.
your way of accepting isn't like that, where you're just settling for less. Your way, what you're telling the audience about accepting your situation
you're gonna
is
think so much negative. Stop thinking of negative.
be
And think of the
positive,
positive.
yeah,
What are you gonna do? Mainly,
and do something about it.
I
Yeah.
play a lot of sports, right? We mess up. It's like, okay, you mess up. What are you gonna do about it next time? Or
Yeah.
what are you gonna do next to be better? I'm
Yeah.
like, all right,
Skill issue. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, definitely. What skill is playing baseball? That's for sure. I'm
But-
not gonna lie.
But yeah, I appreciate that. Really great advice. Jeremiah, I always admire being a part of our podcast, and that's why I was so happy to have him be a part of this. Even during those other episodes, Basil, you've never seen it. I'm sure you probably haven't seen it yet, but in the past episodes, Fierce was always he was very quiet. This is the most that he's actually talked in our podcast, and we really appreciate that
the most I've talked since the first podcast.
Every
Since that
podcast.
boy energy.
Yeah, you brought that boy energy, bro. And he just keeps leveling up more and more in our podcast, and I feel happy about that. But he's also our food gatherer. He always has a sandwich, a salad, or something else in his hands, and we're always happy to see that when we're ever in our podcast. So thank you guys, thank you everybody being a part of this talk. Thank you, chat, for your compliments and all of the feedback and comments that you guys were sharing. Thank you for engaging with us. We always appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate no matter how big or small the group is out there. Just know that you being our audience means that we have a podcast that we can continue and talk more different topics about. Next week's episode is probably going to be about insecurities. We're just kind of diving in, going a little bit deeper and deeper based off of these different spaces that are relevant. Last week was eating disorder. Today was about body dysmorphia, kind of relative to an eating disorder or issues that we may have in our lives. And then next week, we're going to top it off with insecurities. And this may mean not just how you perceive yourself physically, but maybe other insecurities that we have kept to ourselves. We may or may not have any guests to join us next week, but we would still love and encourage you guys to continue chiming in, joining our conversations, because we will definitely dive in really deeply about the insecurity topics and potentially share some of the thoughts that we may have had that hasn't even been out there shared publicly to our friends and family. So this topic really is definitely going to be interesting, and I've said definitely like a million times already. So I appreciate you guys again for being a part of this podcast tonight. Basil, please get home safely.
Bro, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story.
Let us know when you're home safe.
Yeah, let us know. Let Laura May know you are now invited in our Discord. So I apologize in advance for all of the craziness that happens in the Discord.
No, it's okay.
But I appreciate your time also. If ever there's any topic in the future that maybe you also still want to come and join us and just talk about it, we would love to have you as a guest again and join us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're really open to everyone coming in, and we would love to just see their faces again and maybe even get to know you a little bit more, man.
Well, yeah, I'll be better next time.
No, trust me. This is great. This is great alone. So we appreciate your time that you spent with us. But yeah, get home safely, Basil. Take care. I appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, see you later. Yeah.
Bye, Basil.
All right, chat. This is where we're gonna end off the podcast. Team, we could stay briefly, and we'll just talk about the next steps. But thank you, chat, so much for being a part of this again. I'm gonna end it off with my outro. Where did it go? There it is. See you guys next time. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Peace out, stream.
All right, where's that screen? See you next time, screen. Yeah, don't forget to lick the stream or like the stream, I guess.
Like it.
Yeah, that's what chat said. Thank you, chat. Peace out. Ending it now.
I kind of wish I